office. Kind of or open up with a pathetic box office, rather, of just 40 million. So, that's what happens when you have somebody in a movie that nobody likes. Kind of like what happened to the Marvels, when you had characters that nobody knew about and characters nobody liked because of the actresses and the talent's general hatred towards humanity. And Aquaman 2 is no exception. It features Amber Heard. For however little of screen time, it shows that she is in it and nobody wants to see her. So there has always been a boycott movement and there was always the petition that had like 4 million signatures or 5 million signatures of firing Amber Heard from Aquaman 2 because of her abusive behavior. And, well, they didn't. So, yeah, people are not going to watch this movie. But let's get into this box office analysis. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom reportedly on track for far worse box office opening than the Marvels. DC sequel predicted to pull just 40 million domestic across Christmas weekend. Pack it up, Mr. Curry. This round goes to Black Manta. It looks like the end of the Snyderverse will come with not a bang, but an ocean-muted whisper, as according to a new report, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is on track for a very unhappy Christmas. Per a December analysis of the upcoming holiday box office prospect provided by Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro and Nancy I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. The final chapter in DC's first attempt at the cinematic universe, currently looking at a box office of just 40 million across the entirety of its debut 4-day weekend. Unfortunately for Aquaman, who would be king, his financial outlook barely looks better overseas. Launching 73 markets, including highly coveted China, James Wan directed sequel only set to take place somewhere between 75 million and 80 million, with a possible peak of 110 million through Sunday. Assuming these figures end up accurately representing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom opening box office, they would represent an abysmal performance decline between the sequel and its predecessor. Yeah, Aquaman, I do remember, made $1 billion. And while I do remember actually giving that movie a positive review, that was before the criminal acts of Amber Heard. And before anybody really knew of her criminal acts and whatnot. Now, I can't stomach watching a movie with her in it. I own Aquaman. I haven't watched it since the Depp Heard trial, when I've heard that she was literally shitting in people's beds and abusing a person to the point where his finger got cut off. So yeah, releasing on December 21st per numbers provided by the aptly named box office analysis outlet The Numbers. First Aquaman ended its first 4 days in theaters with the same amount of time covered in those two people at Deadline's analysis, with nearly triple size take of $105 million. Likewise, the film ended its international opening weekend, which only covered a standard 3-day period, with roughly 172 million, an almost 50% box office increase over even the most generous of Lost Kingdom's predictions. To this end, according to previous report from Variety, the Deep Sea sequel reportedly cost a whopping $215 million to produce. So yes, this movie is looking to flop. Taking into account the standard rule of thumb that, thanks to production and subsequent marketing costs, a given film must make at least double its budget to break even. This means that Lost Kingdom needs to end its theatrical run with an absolute minimum in the final box office of $500 million, $500 million. That's just to break even. Not making profit, breaking even. Adding even further insult to injury, should these numbers hold, they would leave The Lost Kingdom with the worst box office opening weekend that even the Marvels, which ended its period with a total gross of $47 million domestically and $63.3 million international. Unfortunately, for the King of the Seven Seas, there are two very distinct reasons why this goal may realistically be unobtainable. The first is, of course, current DC Studios co-head James Gunn, everybody's favorite pedophile director, decision to announce his reboot of DC's cinematic roadmap over a year before the Aquaman hero returned to his second adventure, as it essentially signaled to audiences that neither it nor any other yet-to-be-released Snyderverse outings, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, would have any relevance to the franchise's future. So yeah, basically, in layman's terms, these movies aren't important to the new universe that's being made at Warner Brothers and DC. So, who cares? There's really no stakes in the movie. In light of this reveal, as well as Gunn's subsequent declaration that nothing is canon in his DC continuity until the animated Creature Commandos, thus smothering any hopes of Lost Kingdom being folded into his plans, it comes as no surprise that audiences have found themselves disinterested in the film's release, as outside of one's personal fandom for the character or a particular actor, there's no reason for them to rush out and take in its interconnected story elements. The second, as many readers have already yelled at their screens, is Amber Heard, or as a lot of people like to call Amber Turd because she shit in Johnny Depp's bed. Thanks to the numerous pieces of evidence of her genuinely toxic and abusive personality unveiled to the public during the course of a now infamous defamation lawsuit brought against her by ex-husband Johnny Depp, the actress has now become a persona non grata, not just among Hollywood but general audiences as well. As such, a mere presence of actress as Mara, no matter how short her appearance may reportedly be, is more than enough reason for a good number of viewers to happily avoid giving the film their money. For better or worse, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom will emerge from the seas on December 20th. So yeah, she admitted on videotape, which is now a part of court public record, to abusing Johnny Depp. No, and Johnny Depp had his life ruined, so people don't want to support a movie that helped or that gives money to Amber Heard. Nobody wants, or because to the way it is, folks, if you support Aquaman 2, you're supporting Amber Heard. That's the facts. That's just the way it is. Now, you could say, I'm just there to support Jason Momoa, but you are still inadvertently giving money to a movie in which a serial and psychotic abuser took part in. Not to mention, the movie has no stakes. So yeah, who cares about Aquaman? I'm certainly not going to go watch it. And it's it's mainly because of Amber Heard being in the movie. I said I would only watch this movie if there was zero screen time for her. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me unless they take her out. I'm not going to watch it. Anyway, folks, just wanted to let you all know it's not looking good for Aquaman 2. I'm not going to watch the movie in theaters. I stopped going to the theaters because movies suck at the theaters now. I mean, the only one that was worth watching was Godzilla Minus One. And unfortunately, I had to go a long way to watch that. So, yeah. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of Aquaman's box office chances? Do you think it has a shot of making any money? Let me know your thoughts, folks. This has been Orange Chat. You all have a wonderful day. And always remember, stay humble.